Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Jedi Knights Watch. My name is Graham, and today we have another Hot Toys figure unboxing and review for you. This is going to be Anakin Skywalker from the Ahsoka series, and I picked this up from Toys Buying Agent for a very good price because this thing is, it can be had for a pretty reasonable price because it's a polarizing figure with kind of a lot of hate directed towards it, and we're going to see today if that's rightfully so, and compared to the Clone Wars Anakin as well. I actually rewatched the Ahsoka series after securing Ahsoka and Hera, and I actually really enjoyed Anakin in this light. Like, I wasn't a big fan of how he was portrayed in the prequels. Thought he was kind of a whiny baby that didn't act very well and was, very clunky with his delivery and whatnot. And some of that might have been on George Lucas, some of it might have been on him, but this Anakin really grew on me, and I really liked how he was more wise and calm and collected, and maybe it's because this is like after he dies and whatnot, and it's kind of just him in spirit form. I don't know, but either way, I really enjoyed seeing him like this. Seemed like just, more of that leader type. So we're going to see what this figure is all about, if it's worth picking up. We see the art box, your typical art box with that nice cigar band there on the bottom. When we get him out, we can kind of see him in the clamshell and everything that he comes with. Your typical Star Wars stuff. You get the lightsaber, the base, and some odds and ends here. And I think first impressions, he looks really good. The outfit and the tailoring looks good, but we're going to take a look at that a little bit more in depth. But first, we got to get the figure out and start with the stand that he comes with. And if you've seen my Ahsoka review, this is the same exact stand, which I like because, I like kind of having everything seamless and in line with each other, but I'm glad they took the footprints out. I really like the paint apps on here. I love the touches of red, brown, and maybe a little bit of tan in there too. And it's not too wavy, so the figure stands on there perfectly fine, and the crotch grabber just plugs in like so. So it's simple, but I think really good. I actually really like this base a lot. So thank you, Hot Toys, for taking the footprints out. Here we have the accessories. We have the box here for the lightsaber. We've got the eye system, the lightsabers, the blades. We have all of his accessories here with the lightsaber kind of effects, and then all of the gloves. And let's start by taking a couple of the gloves out, and you can see their gloved hands. Really good job here. I mean, Hot Toys does great with their sculpting. We have kind of like Force holding hands. We have lightsaber holding hands. And we have fisted hands here too. So you get a good assortment of hands. You have the relaxed hands on the figure at right now. But let's move on to, of course, we have the box for powering the lightsaber. They plug in right here. And then you do have to supply a USB-C yourself. And we have both lightsabers here. One, of course, is going to be the USB-C one, and the other is just if you want to have the blade not plugged in. Looks really good. Paint apps are nice. We've seen these lightsabers before, so nothing new on that front, but nonetheless, it does look really good. And then when we take the blades out, you can just see how dull they are and desaturated, which is very unfortunate. And of course, the blades aren't even like equal throughout the whole blade, so very unfortunate that they're not accurate still. We have the hologram piece right here, and if we flip it over, you can just plug the actual hologram characters in, and we do get a few here. We get Rex, which looks really good, and you kind of see like the lines or the ridges on him to kind of make him look like that hologram effect. And we have Obi-Wan himself talking to Anakin. I'm glad that they threw all these in because it's nice just to have a variety. We didn't really see this in the Ahsoka show. Here's Ahsoka herself. But it's just nice to have the accessories because we barely saw Anakin, so they got creative with what they gave you for accessories, so I'm cool with that. And then we do have the lightsaber effects, which I don't think I'm going to use. They look okay, kind of got like a gradient color going on, blue to orange to red, but they're easy enough to just slide on here, so you just kind of slide it right on until it stops. They're two different sizes, so one can go down further than the other. And that's kind of what it looks like. Unfortunately, the blade just looks terrible, so I'm going to wind up getting a CCFL. But once we get him onto the turntable, we get our first look at the Anakin. Again, this thing has gotten a lot of hate for the facial expression that they chose to go with. Maybe because, too, he does look a little older. I'm not sure. But again, I really enjoyed seeing him in the show. And at first, I wasn't a fan of this head sculpt either. I'm going to let you know if it grew on me or not, but we're going to compare it to Clone Wars in a minute. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of this. I thought, like, I'd be fine with just keeping my Clone Wars one. But over time, I've really seen how how that one is aged and how much more accurate this one just looks to Hayden Christensen himself. So getting him in hand, we get a good look at the figure. Again, he's kind of got like a little bit of a smirk or, you know, that interesting expression, but I think it's going to work. I think we're going to have to mess with these eyes a little bit, but the hair looks great, sculpted very nicely. You got loose strands kind of going all over the place, which obviously just helps with the realism factor. You got the scar on the side, very prominent there. And then you can see that facial expression that we're going with. But the armor looks great too. You have like just little scratches, little pitting, really good paint applications too. Looks really, really nice, really authentic to what we saw in the show as well. So I'm digging that. You got the shoulder pads here as well, which are pretty much the same paint apps, and they are attached through Velcro. You got a nice dark and rich blue and red robe, and that looks really nice too. You have the gauntlets here, which are kind of like a split so he can move the hands. And of course the back of the belt has some pouches that are going to be sculpted as well. But it's a really nice looking figure. He's bulky. He's he's a good size. The robes, I think this has a little bit of a wire in it as well, so you could kind of pose that too. We have like the old school boots, but I'm kind of glad that they're not like what the Hera boots were. They're one piece, but I did find that when you kind of try to move them too much, they pop right off, so just be careful of that. And then we get the figures side by side, so we can see the Clone Wars with the new Ahsoka one, and it's really night and day to me. Like, again, this is very subjective, but I'm really digging this new one over the old one. The old one has more of like a mean look. The robes definitely aren't as brightly colored. The boots are the exact same. I mean, overall, a lot of the same figures. I would say the newer one is a little bit beefier as well, but yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Is this something that you think is worth picking up, or would you stick with the 1.0? Here I have him in a pose where I've moved the eyes, so you can kind of see, like, I think this works well. Like, look at him from these angles. Like, I think if you get the eyes maybe tilted up and off to the side, like, he looks a lot better, and I think the facial expression works. But again, let me know what you guys think. Let's get him with some other figures here. So now kind of just taking a step back and getting the 1.0, the Clone Wars with the Ahsoka version, you can kind of just see the differences. The head sculpt obviously is going to be the biggest one, and I think it's the biggest improvement. Proportions to me look better on the new one as well. I like the stand a lot better as well. So there's things to like here, and it might not be for everybody, but I'm starting to really dig this figure, and especially putting him next to Padawan Ahsoka, one of my favorite figures in the collection as of late. I love this figure. Really, really well done by Hot Toys. But you can see the same base, so they match up perfectly and they look awesome together. And of course, let's get them with Rex for a little bit. They look good together too. Anakin's a little bit taller, but his stand is a little bit taller too. And this is the Rex from Clone Wars, so it's not the new one. And we gotta have them with Ahsoka. There they are together. Ahsoka the White and Anakin. They look as good as ever. Man, Hot Toys has really knocked these Ahsoka figures out of the park. Don't sleep on them. Get them while you can. Let's get into some poses, talk about some of the things that I like about the figure, and some things not so much. And I gotta say, this I'm joking pose, it's fire. It works. Like, you could stick him in this pose and he looks great. But some things that I really liked, I do like the head sculpt. It's really grown on me. It might be a little limited, but I think the likeness is amazing. I love the hair strands and the sculpted hair as well. Super detailed. I like the rich colors in the outfit too. It's brighter than the Clone Wars, and I just think he goes so well with Ahsoka herself, Padawan Ahsoka that is. And I'm digging these new stands. Like, they're simple, but they work. So Hot Toys, keep it up with these simple but effective stands. A couple things that I didn't like, I will give it to you guys out there. As much as I do like the head sculpt, the facial expression is a little limited, but I do think if you get the eyes just right, that he can look really good in a pose. The lightsaber, it's really nothing against this figure. It's more of Hot Toys. Come on, let's step it up with our lightsaber game here. And the boots, like, I'm glad that they're one piece and they're not like Hera's were, but they are limited to on articulation, and they sometimes do pop out as well. So a couple of things there, more of like nitpicks. I think this is a really good figure, especially at a really good price. He can be had for cheap. Let's get him into the Maju case and kind of take a look at what we're going with here and what he looks like with all of my other, if you want to call it, prequels figures. He looks good between Vader, what he comes out to be, and his Padawan Ahsoka, and she is next to Rex. And of course, we have the Bad Batch in the back. I think this display is fire. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know if this video has maybe changed your mind a little bit on picking up the Ahsoka Anakin. I think he's an awesome figure, best likeness that we've had. But let me know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.